Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. Today we're going to be talking about a newly, somewhat, sort of confirmed thing coming to DLC4 Revelations in a few months' time, okay? So, this is all courtesy of my good friend, Mr. Dalek JD. I'm going to have a link to his video about this in the description down below because he's breaking this news. So, it seems like Jason Blundell has basically told us that the Origins staves are going to be returning in some capacity in DLC4, or at least we can presume so. So, let me give you the context here, okay? Jason Blundell is being asked questions by John, and one of the questions asked is, will we see the Origins staves again in the future? And Jason responds, will we ever see them again? I think we'll see them again. So, that's his answer. If that's not evidence enough that we're going to be seeing the staves again in the future, then I don't really know what is. And I might have a little bit more intel about this coming in the next few days, by the way. So that's definitely something to keep your eye out, and that would be like a confirmation, I guess, at this point. But right now, what could Jason mean by seeing them again? Well, he could, if he was being really sneaky, he could mean that we're going to see the staves, as in visually we'll see other people wielding them or something like that, but we won't wield them ourselves. That is possible, but that would be just the ultimate troll at this point. They're the ultimate staves of ultimate power, or replicas of them, and Jason would be giving us the ultimate troll and being like, yeah, we'll see them again, but you won't be able to use the damn things. So that's one interpretation. Another idea is that potentially, the staves will be featured in the Zombies comic. So the Zombies comic is coming out with its first issue on October the 19th, so that's going to be after DLC 4, and it's possible that Jason could have been referring to that comic when he says, will we see them again? I think we will see them again. So he could be not meaning DLC 4, but specifically meaning the comic. However, because of the fact that we know roughly the story of the comic itself, we know that it's Richtofen linking up with the transit characters and going on a quest to secure the Chronorium, and it's also going to involve the insurance policy of Zetsubou no Shima. More intel coming about that again in the next few days. Keys secured from Comic-Con. Hell yes, got some juicy intel coming up for all of you. But because of that, it makes it much less likely that we'll be seeing the staves there, because the transit crew and the Chronorium search aren't related to the staves, and the Zetsubou no Shima insurance policy isn't related to the staves, and so it's much more likely that by in the future, he meant in DLC 4, which is really exciting stuff, okay? Der Eisendrache, we had the bows. Origins, obviously, we had the original staves. These sorts of weapons are becoming a slowly but surely more common theme in the Zombies mode, and personally, I really like it. I think that staves or bows or whatever are great. It's a shame when they're really tedious to build and things like that. Like the Origin staves, upgrading them can be a little bit tricky for some people, and the bows as well for some people. If you haven't watched my guides, no nonsense guides, they're the best. Or if you haven't watched any of my tips and tricks where you can like do the fire bow without even having to hold square or aim it or anything, you just go plonk and it just does the bow for you. Things like that make it a lot easier, but without that sort of thing, the bows can be quite difficult to get as well. And so it's frustrating when the steps are a little bit tricky and not everyone can actually manage them, and it means that some people just never get access to like the fire bow or certain staff or something like that. But hopefully in DLC 4, we will be seeing the staves returning. Hopefully in DLC 4, we will be seeing them in our actual hands, usable, not just seeing them, because the thing is, right, Primus, okay, I'll have the image on screen now of Primus. Primus have been wielding the staves, right? They're wielding the original staves. They are the proper ones, the staves of the ancients. Sure, Max has made copies. My father made copies. My name is Samantha. I'm going to tell you how it really began. Meh. Those are the originals, and that's great. Maybe we'll be seeing them in DLC 4. In fact, if DLC 4 is the great battle that we've been talking about for so long, or if it's another iteration of that great battle, or if we're going to be fighting the battle against the Apothicons that's outside the house, which would be super epic, and it's not quite the great battle, although, to be honest, they could be like a metaphorically linked thing or something like that. That is possible, to be honest. Treyarch could easily play with those ideas, but I digress. The staves are seemingly going to be coming back. Certainly in some capacity. Okay, I'm gonna splice this in. I thought I was done with the video, but I just thought of this and it blew my mind, okay? What if what Jason meant was that we would be seeing the staves in an Origins remake. That would be so insane. Yo, I can't even fathom what that would really manifest itself as. Would that be part of DLC4? Would that be DLC5? Are we going to be getting remakes in DLC5? Is there going to be a DLC5? I don't know, man. Maybe. I feel like it's possible if we're not seeing the staffs in DLC4. And actually, yeah, I guess there's a sort of temperature gauge for us, right? If we get to DLC4 and we get through the Easter egg and we get through the story and we finish everything, boom, brackets in place, and we don't see the staffs, then we can pretty much rest assured that an Origins remake could be on the cards. Would they ever remake Origins? I mean, if you go back to the map now, it really does feel old gen. Like, you look at the walls, you look at the textures, you look at the mud, you look at the zombies, and it really does feel somewhat dated, despite the fact that it's a pretty much masterpiece of a map. So maybe, I mean, imagine if in DLC5 they... Imagine if they made a DLC5 in the first place, first of all, but then also imagine if in that map pack what they did is they brought back things like Mob of the Dead, which is integral to the story. They brought back Origins, integral to the story. Wouldn't that be cool? I don't know, man. If they're making a DLC5, I think that that's possible, but I don't think that they're necessarily going to be making a DLC5, although, to be honest, Jason has said DLC4 is pretty much done. It's pretty much finished now. So maybe they're working on it already. Who knows? Really exciting times, though. I'm going to let you get back to the originally recorded video now. I think that the absolute most likely thing is that in Revelations, we're going to have the original ancient staves. It's going to be a perfect way to round out the story, going from Origins to there, Origins to Revelations, from the replicas to the originals. It's going to be epic. So yeah, this is pretty exciting stuff. If you guys are excited as well, then leave a like on the video for sure, and I'll see you very soon in another Zombies video. More intel coming soon. Bye-bye.